It's time for the Super Mario Party review for the Nintendo Switch. It's been a while since I last played a Mario Party game. Actually, Mario Party 8 was the most recent before this game, which, at the time of this review, was just over 9 years ago. The beginning cutscene shows Mario and pals arguing on who is the superstar, or basically, who's the number one? Bowser and his minions show up and argue it could be one of them who's the superstar. So to put an end to their quarreling, they all agreed to a board game. Well, you know, Mario Party. There are a handful of game modes to play, and after you complete the entirety of each mode, you'll earn a gem, with the main goal of obtaining all 5. The traditional mode, simply named Mario Party, offers 4 unique boards, each with their own twists and surprises. Right off the bat, it felt lackluster, not only in the amount of boards to choose from, but the size of each board. They all begged to be at least 25% larger than what they were. However, perhaps the size of each board isn't the main attraction, as this Mario Party features a few strategic gimmicks. Throughout each map, there are special spaces where if you land on one, you'll be given an ally in the form of a CPU character. You can have multiple allies at once, and they can help in certain situations. One of their main abilities is to roll an extra 1 to 2 value die, adding a small boost to your own die. Speaking of dice, each character has their own unique die. You of course have the option to roll the traditional 1 to 6 sided die, but you can also roll your character's die to try to strategize more. Mario has a pretty conservative dice block, while other characters like Bowser have high risk reward dice with coin losses and high numbers like 9 and 10. If you have an ally by your side, you can choose to roll their dice block for additional options. Even though different multiple dice can add to the strategy, the value of the dice that you land on is still random, as it should be. We all figured out pretty quickly that you have a much higher chance at winning the game if you have allies. It was nice that you could even acquire allies via a certain item and not have to only rely on landing directly on an ally spot. Mario Party wouldn't be Mario Party without minigames, and this bunch has some pretty fun ones, as well as some duds. Many use the motion controls of the Joy-Con, which I have to say most were pretty spot on as far as tracking your movements. It was nice that not all minigames used motion control, and instead relied on the face buttons and analog stick. Some of the 1v3 minigames were borderline unfair for the single player, and vice versa for the 3 players. One thing I wish was different was the amount of bonus stars after a match. There are many different bonus stars available, but only 2 are presented after every match, and it's always random of which 2 stars are going to be up for grabs. I thought there should be at least 3 bonus stars, and perhaps more if you played a match with a high number of turns. Mario Party mode is the classic way to play, however there's another mode similar yet different called Partner Party. In this mode, you and another player will team up against 2 others while trying to collect stars. The 2 of you will roll separate dice and add them for a total number of spaces each of you can move. You're able to move in any direction, however you have to land directly on the star space to collect them, unlike the classic mode where all you need to do is at least pass the space. There aren't any coins or ally spaces, rather you can pick up floating coins around the board, as well as move to a space where a random ally is located to have them join your team. I like this mode quite a bit because of the higher focus of strategy and teamwork you have to utilize in order to win. One game mode called Soundstage takes on a WarioWare likeness in a series of rhythm minigames. This one's pretty fun, especially with 3 other players. It's nice that a match only takes about 5 minutes, so it's good for when you want to play something quickly. There's a team mode called River Survival where you raft down a multi-branching river. You have to complete co-op minigames to acquire more time for you to paddle downstream. While the core element of the game is the same for each branching path, it does have replayability because each branch has different sub-elements like avoiding Cheep Cheeps or maneuvering through rocks. There's a gauntlet mode, so to speak, called Challenge Road where you have to complete a long stretch of minigames in one go. Well, actually, it's not one go, since you can take a break and come back to it later. The game even suggests you do this. It's fun, but can get tedious as you go on. There's a super shallow online mode called Online Mario-thon where you get to play a group of minigames with either your friends or other players around the world to see who can get the highest score. I say shallow because I was really hoping for an actual traditional match of Mario Party Online, regardless of who was playing. Even if it's restricted to just playing with friends, it would have been a much better experience than what we got. Hopefully an update can add this. Every time a game mode is completed, you'll earn party points, which is a currency you can use to buy collectibles and cosmetics in the form of stickers, which you can use to decorate with. I didn't really care about the points, but they're there for people who enjoy collecting the prizes. Super Mario Party is a nice addition to the franchise, but it's hard to look the other way when it comes to some of its flaws. Its biggest problem is the number of boards it has in Mario Party mode. Like, really? 4 boards? That's it? It needs to have a minimum of 6, but preferably 8. The boards themselves need to be at least 25% larger than they currently are, and regular online matches needs to be a thing. Fix these 3 shortcomings and you have yourself one Super Mario Party. This game gets a 3.75 out of 5 with the title of good. It's time for the Mario Party Superstars review for the Nintendo Switch. Was anyone else surprised when this game was announced? I thought all we'd get for Switch is Super Mario Party, which, while it has its shortcomings, was a pretty good game. So, did Superstars take the cake, or did it roll snake eyes? Let's find out. If you're unfamiliar with Mario Party, it's basically a board game, video game style. Each player takes their turn rolling the dice, moving around the board, collecting coins and spending them to purchase stars, which is the ultimate goal. Whoever has the most stars at the end of a match wins. Various gimmicks and special spaces on each board can turn the tide in your favor, as well as your opponent's. Think you're miles ahead in first place? Just wait a few turns, you might be in last before you know it. One of the main features in any board is that after every player has taken their turn in each round, they'll all play a minigame together, and whoever wins takes home a coin prize. These minigames can either be free-for-all, 2v2, or 1v3, and depending on the space each player landed on during their last turn can dictate which style of minigame everyone will play. There are 1v1 minigames, but these only happen in certain situations. Superstars returns the classic feel of Mario Party and adds to the nostalgia by bringing back remastered versions of 5 familiar game boards. In order of difficulty, we've got Yoshi's Tropical Island from Mario Party 1, Spaceland from Mario Party 2, Peach's Birthday Cake, my most nostalgic board, from Mario Party 1, Woody Woods from Mario Party 3, and Horrorland from Mario Party 2. Each one has its own gimmick which can affect players in certain ways. Even though Peach's Birthday Cake holds a special place in my heart, I think Woody Woods is my favorite due to the specific strategies you have to account for in order to win. Every board has to be approached differently. With most boards, every time someone purchases a star, the star location will move, forcing players to think strategically on where they should try to go. However, Peach's Birthday Cake changes things up in that the star never moves. Each board offers something different, and they definitely feel diverse enough from each other, forcing you to play a little differently when playing them. Every time you complete a match, you'll be rewarded with coins and experience points. The coins can be exchanged for in-game content such as encyclopedia pages, music tracks, and stickers, which, by the way, is the main method of communicating to your opponents, and some are pretty funny if used in certain situations. The experience points level up your profile for all to see, and there are also unlockable achievements by performing specific tasks in a match, and it's fun trying to unlock them all. Like with the boards, all the minigames are remastered versions within older Mario Party titles. None of them utilize the motion controls, which I ultimately appreciate. Motion control minigames are fine, but I'd rather have the accuracy of using directional sticks and buttons. There are exactly 100 minigames total, with Mario Party 3 representing the majority. I don't really have a preference to which minigames made it into Superstars, and 100 is a good amount to have. I'd of course always enjoy more if they ever added DLC, but I'm fine with what we got. Graphically, it looks just fine and what you'd come to expect from a Mario title. Half of the controls are menu-based, so no problems here, and I honestly haven't come across any minigame that had frustrating controls. It's even funny how Nintendo specifically says to not use the palms of your hands to rotate the analog stick in certain games. But, you know, if you want to win, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yes!
I did it! Oh my goodness. In addition to the main party of the game, you're able to play just the minigames alone in multiple different ways. It's a good way to master them, and they're not all just local play, as one type lets you play online with the goal of getting the highest rank you can. Speaking of, full online play with up to 3 other people is available, and it's highly appreciated. Had Super Mario Party had this ready from the get-go, it would have received a higher rating. The only real drawback with online mode is that you can't talk to anyone directly through the game itself. In lieu of this, Nintendo gave us the stickers that act as player communication. They're fine for the most part, I just wish Nintendo would one day let us talk to one another through their games instead of what they think we want with their mobile app. While the game is made to be played with multiple people, you can play this by yourself, however don't expect the AI to keep up. You can set the AI's difficulty setting to however you like, but this really only affects how well it does in the minigames. It doesn't play strategically on the board itself. Like this example, Wario, set on Master AI difficulty, uses his custom dice block to move to the space just before the star. Or like this one, Birdo using their custom dice block to purposely move into the space where my piranha plant steals their star from me. Battling the AI in the minigames can be very challenging and fun, but it's kind of the opposite when it's playing on the game board. I think this is the Mario Party most hoped and or expected with Super Mario Party. While that game has merit, this one is simply better. It's ultimately what Mario Party is supposed to play like. While I wish there were more than 5 boards to choose from, and the fact that we still cannot speak to each other through the game, nor is it that fun to play against the AI, this is still a great Mario Party title, and one that I hope will become even better with DLC, but if not, it's still worth picking up. This game gets a 4.25 out of 5 with the title of Awesome!
Superstar.
It's time for the Super Mario Party Jamboree review for the Nintendo Switch. I couldn't believe it when I saw we were getting a third Mario Party title for the Switch back when it was announced in Nintendo's June Direct and was one of the games I was most anticipating. So without further ado, let's see if this game was worth my initial hype. The main theme of this round of Mario Party is set on various islands, each one holding a different gameplay experience for the player. Bowser actually becomes a playable character to choose from, so Kamek transforms a regular minion into Imposter Bowser, which he'll come into play a bit later. Let's first begin with the playable boards. You'll initially begin with 4, but at the risk of potentially spoiling it, there are 3 other boards you can unlock for a total of 7. Hooray for math! This is about the amount I was hoping for in Super Mario Party. Honestly, I would have been happy with 6, but 7 is even better. If you're new to the Mario Party scene, it's basically a video game board game. The main goal of each board is to obtain the most stars by the end of the match. Stars are mainly purchased, but players can also steal them from other players in certain circumstances, and also be awarded with bonus stars at the end of the match if you're lucky enough. As for the boards themselves, I'll go over each one briefly and talk about their gimmicks. Each board has a 1 to 5 star difficulty rating, and Mega Wiggler's Tree Party is one of the easiest to play. Here, players must carefully move around and on Mega Wiggler without getting on his bad side. He can move around the pit he's in, and this will change up the routes you can take, which, depending on the star's location, can be a good or bad thing. Next up is one of my personal favorites, Rainbow Galleria, a large shopping mall with multiple different routes and surprises along the way. Elevators and escalators must be used wisely in order to reach the star on one of the 3 shopping levels. A lucrative side quest, if you will, is to get your stamp card stamped by specific booths around the mall, and if you can turn all of them in at once, you'll be rewarded with 50 coins. There's a good amount of route strategies on this board, which makes it one of my favorites. Roll'em Raceway changes traditional board gameplay quite a bit in that all players race around a track trying to collect stars. Unlike most boards, when a star is purchased, instead of popping up in a new random location, it'll switch to a dedicated spot on the other track. When it's purchased here, it will revert back to its original location and rinse and repeat. The race car theme isn't purely aesthetics, as the board rewards— Ugh! Did you see that? Oh, that's so discomforting. Ugh. Anyway, players are rewarded with more and more coins every time they complete a full lap. To help with this, one new item is the Turbo Dice, which allows a player to roll a staggering 4 dice at once, but the catch is that your character won't stop for anything except when at a split in the road. Use it wisely, as it won't even stop to let you get a star. Goomba Lagoon is next on the list, and it's also one of my favorites. Don't get too comfortable on this seemingly tropical paradise, because if the volcano explodes, you could be losing coins left and right as you step on lava bubbles as you proceed through. If luck is on your side though, it could rain golden Goombas, where you'll gain 5 coins for each one you encounter. This board can be quite tricky with the high tide as well, potentially leaving players stranded until it dies down. Player transport items can be crucial on this map, including a regular warp pipe that will move a player to a random location. Western Land from Mario Party 2 returns, in HD no less. Need a quick ride to a different part of the map? Get a first-class ticket on the train and ride in style. Be careful you're not caught on the tracks while it's moving though, or else be prepared to go back to the beginning of the map. This board wouldn't be a hootenanny without screwing over the other players to force them to come join you for a drink at the milk saloon. Dang it, Red. The second to last board is one of my childhood favorites. From the first Mario Party game on the N64, Mario's Rainbow Castle is one of the unique boards where the star's location doesn't change after it's purchased. That's not the only gimmick, as the other is triggering a special event which will cause the bright and beautiful area to turn dark and depressing, especially if you reach the star in this state. Doing so will get you a one-on-one interview with Imposter Bowser, where you'll be forced to purchase a Zetar, which is worth nothing. Using movement and dice items wisely on this board is key. The last board is King Bowser's Keep, Imposter Bowser's secret base, and chock full of traps. If you're lucky enough to not land on a Bowser space, which the number of these spaces grow throughout the match, you'll have to roll high enough dice numbers to not lose your coins to Mecha Koopas. One of my favorite gimmicks of this board is you can steal all the coins and stars Imposter Bowser has taken in the match for yourself, if you can get by his guard and correctly guess the combination to the gate holding it all. The odds of winning or losing can quickly flip on this board. The title of this game references one of the most prominent gimmicks. Jamboree refers to the Jamboree buddies that appear on the board every once in a while. When a player reaches one of these characters, all 4 players will compete in a special event, which is either one or multiple unique mini-games to see who wins the Jamboree buddy. The events are unique in that they're only available to play based on who the Jamboree buddy is. So, what does having a Jamboree buddy do? Well, just like the respective events, it depends on who you have. Peach will allow you to purchase stars at half price, Wario gives you 3 to 8 coins at the start of your turn, and Donkey Kong can launch you to a random location on the map before you roll the dice if you so choose. Other buddies do different things, but what they all have in common is whoever they're with, most of the time if that player triggers an event upon themselves, the event is performed a second time. Land on a lucky space, you get 2 lucky space rolls. Get to a star, you can buy 2 at once if you have enough coins. Doubling up on events isn't immune to negative happenings though. Land on a Bowser space? Oh, I feel sorry for you. Having a Jamboree buddy is usually a good thing, but don't throw caution to the wind if you have one. One problem I have with Jamboree buddies is how easy it is to steal one away from another player. I mean, the event you compete in takes a long time relative to any other minigame. You put in so much work and effort, but if someone just passes you while you have them, they will ditch you for the other. Jamboree buddies will only hang out with players on the board for 3 turns once someone wins them, so if they do transfer to someone else, it's only for a limited time, but still. They will also go away if no one passes them within the 3 turns after they appear. Graphically, the game looks just as good as the previous 2 Mario Party Switch titles, which isn't a bad thing. It's that same good old Mario style we're all accustomed to. The controls are the same way. When on the board, it's mostly selecting through menus, and the minigames are easy for most to pick up and play. Motion-controlled minigames are available, but I'm glad we had the option to turn them off before starting, as you must use a Joy-Con to play them. There are other various playable modes, such as a rhythm section that felt like a WarioWare and Rhythm Heaven fusion. These were fun, but quite difficult to master. Another mode that is best played online is Koopathlon, where you and 19 other players compete in a race around a track. Moving around the track is accomplished by collecting coins throughout 3 predetermined special minigames. Every coin you obtain will move you 1 space on the track. The top 3 players get to stand victorious on pedestals, while the remaining 17 try to finish the best they can. This mode is really fun, and much more than I initially thought it would be. The other mode where it's made to be played online is Bowser Kaboom Squad, where the goal is to work together with others to take down Imposter Bowser. Doing so requires good cooperative mini-game play to receive items to help everyone on the battlefield. This mode is fun, but I think I like this one better. You can of course play online matches on the regular Mario Party boards, but unfortunately finding people who won't quit at the start or in the middle of a match is difficult. The computer takes over if this happens, and if so, it's like, what's the point in even playing online? Thankfully, the AI doesn't play stupidly when set on a high difficulty, at least when they're not on your team. That's another story. For the most part though, they can be quite challenging seeing how they use items strategically on the boards and play nearly perfectly on the minigames. Unless they're on your team.
Bruh.
When you complete a match, locally or online, you'll receive achievements if certain criteria was met, and these achievements act as XP which can unlock new things. You'll also receive points which you can use to exchange for items like stickers, music, and reactions. Speaking of reactions, Nintendo thankfully limited players in when they can use reactions. This helped alleviate spam, but I didn't like that you couldn't perform a reaction when it was your turn. There's more I could talk about, such as the other various game modes to play, but I only wanted to cover key points and elements. This Mario Party Switch title has more to offer than the previous 2, with 7 boards being the main positive note, and the 2 dedicated online modes are fun too. I do wish there were more Jamboree buddies, and honestly, I first thought all characters were Jamboree buddies, but no, this isn't the case. I also wish you were able to set the amount of bonus stars you wanted, rather than having a fixed number. I think the most disappointing feature was how obtaining a Jamboree buddy works. Seriously, instead of receiving a buddy if you pass them, you play an event that takes quite a while to complete, and you only get them if you win. But then, someone could steal them away on the next turn just because they pass you. I don't know, I feel like if you put in the work to win them, you should get them for the duration they stay. Overall, this is a great addition to the Mario Party library, and in terms of overall quantity, I can't think of another one that offers you more. Even though I'm quite satisfied with how much content we got, I'm always hopeful for some quality DLC to take it even further. This game gets a 4.25 out of 5 with the title of Awesome.
Congratulations!